Kia ora everybody. Well, as it would happen, Pam and I were with a very good team, and Pam is an extraordinary clinician and project manager. So I've been out of the loop a little bit because of a pandemic and a few weather events in relation to comms in Te Oranga. But what I've put together is a bit of a story that Pam has just told, really, and it's going to describe the different elements that we developed after the work that Pam did in community. I'd like to acknowledge Jewel, which Pam has talked of. Yes, thank you. So Jill was our project manager, and in effect, she was a part of the glue between the partnerships that we had. She attended the interviews for the police team and was able to work with police to help awhi, the right sort of people in the right job. We had an amazing journey, and she had a huge commitment to the reduction of harm. So I just would like to acknowledge Jill. She sadly passed away in April 2020, and I just take the time to acknowledge her today. Thank you. So as part of an infrastructure, we had developed a framework which was really, really important. The key things that were most important about it were the community, cultural and whānau involvement. It was critical that they were above all of the, the po of work that was occurring. As Pam explained, Pam and I were a part of the team for the community and whānau resources component of the whole program. Thank you. So the things that we were charged with doing was to create a reference group to do the community consultation that Pam's talked about. We needed to develop the resources that were the outcome of the consultation. We designed a train the trainer program, and we needed to make sure that it really aligned with what the community was telling us. So for us, it was about taking a whole of community approach. It was really important that if we were to eliminate the harm of methamphetamine in a community, we needed to involve everybody. And as Pam just said at the end, the whānau are as important as those who are using methamphetamine, to those who are clinicians, to the police, to everybody. We all have an equal role in the success of reducing the harm. And our goal in the community stakeholder engagement was to create a voice for community. Thank you. So we created a reference group that actually had 21 community and NGO members, and we actually had 37 steering group meetings in that 1 year. There was a huge commitment to that working together and taking the guidance from all of our people, testing the thinking that we had after we had got the information from our community. So it was very, very critical. And if you're going to set up a Te Oranga in your place, I would highly recommend that you start at that place. So as Pam described, Pam came in and she co-designed the community hui. And she's right, it was really, really important to go to all of the places, not just whangārei. And I don't think the hui weren't for the weak-hearted. They were fairly torrid at times. People were very emotional for a lot of reasons. There was a lot of harm going on. People felt, when we went to talk to them, they say, give us the money and we know what to do. Yeah. So there was lots and lots of opinion, which was all good. It was really good to gather it all together. And I just really do acknowledge Pam, because Pam had the skills and the relationships in our community to enable that consultation to occur. Thank you. So what did they tell us? They told us that they wanted to have more access to services. They wanted stepped out resources for help. They talked about the Tikanga Maori approach, which is starting to evolve today. They certainly said we don't want any more brochures, and they were really clear about that. They wanted to see, as Pam said, they wanted to see their own people, and they also recommended a waiata. And I get goosebumpy because those key things of we want to see our own people and a waiata became a flagship elements of Te Oranga, if you like. So what did we do? I need to explain next actually. So we did a music video, we did some educational videos, we did a cycle of meth magnet, a wallet card, there's some social media resources, and there's also billboards. So I'm just going to go through the elements that we developed. Thank you. So we were really, really blessed. Whatu Ora was working for Taha, he still works for Taha, and he came to the Kaipara hui. And after the hui, one of his colleagues, Rhonda, reached out and said that he wanted to gift a waiata to us. Let's make a change. Unbelievable. I don't have it to play today, but we may be able to because it's on YouTube. But effectively, he gifted us the waiata. And the importance of that is that is the foundation and the thread of the entire community strategy or comms strategy after there. It is the soundtrack on the radio commercials, it's the soundtrack on all the videos, and we made the music video with community as well, so there was more engagement with them. Thank you. So there's some of the filming when we went out into the community, and we even went to the cop shop in Kirikiri, and that was excellent. We were able to call all these police out. They were told they had to come out. They weren't too fussed, but we had them out on the street dancing with Whatu Ora, singing the song, and so cooperatively we made this terrific community-driven music video, and you can see the joy. It's really cool. We also made 5 educational videos, and one of the key ones was the clinical cycle of meth abuse. That was one of the key things that people wanted to understand. What was actually happening when somebody was using methamphetamine, and when was a good time or best time to engage with someone who was using. And so we did a video with Jill, who's a clinician, and one of our docs. We did a Road to Recovery, which was a story of some lived experience, which was also very powerful. We had some voice from a tangere, which was a video about drug dealers, enough is enough, and that was a voice directly to those people who were dealing methamphetamine in our community. So all of these all live on our website, and you still use them today. We had another one which was a really lovely Māori gentleman who talked about methamphetamine being the evil, and that it had come into our community and it was doing so much harm. And again, it's a really useful tool for the right audiences. And then we had Let's Make a Change music video. Thank you. And the magnet, yes, the meth cycle. Now, I think we've printed 20,000 magnets and distribute them, and when we talk about taking kitty back to those places where we consulted, there would be probably 5,000 magnets in the kitty. So there was it was in high demand, and what it really showed was it showed whānau when it was perhaps safest to engage with someone if they're on there using meth. There's also a wallet card which has all of the places to go for help. Now the police use that wallet card quite a lot. They reorder it. They leave that when they go visit communities. Our Pou whānau connectors use it as well. It's just a really good back pocket tool. It's nice and small, so it can fit in someone's wallet, so it's not too invasive but helpful. And then to honour the request that we'd like to see our own people, we filmed with over 40 clinicians and community members from across Northland, and in consultation with the Drug Foundation we wrote scripts for these 1-minute video clips. So the first series were helpful hints for whānau, for someone if in your whānau is using meth, so they're a set of resources for whānau. And then there's some video tips for people who are looking to make a change from meth or other drugs. It was really good to partner up with the Drug Foundation because it gave us that clinical expertise. And also the narrative is really encouraging, and it meant we are still using those videos today in social media. And we put them on a memory stick like so. So that 65 video clips, and we distributed that in the kitty too. So that was really cool. So this is just part of our handover. As you can see, we had a sort of symbolic kitty, which was beautiful. We had them And in there was little samples of all the little bits and pieces, but fundamentally every community were given probably 5,000 magnets, the videos to play, there was the stickers, and billboards. If we go to the next. So we also gifted a billboard, a meth-free billboard, to every community, and you may well still see those out there today. So that's a good 6 years ago, but they are still up. And then a year or two after that, which is really lovely to see the people from Hokianga today, we were asked to go to marae and help them make some resources too, that they could use in their own communities, encouraging people to come to marae and seek help. And these videos are all hosted on our Te Oranga website too. So if I was going to leave you with a few key tips, when you engage with communities, you will make better informed decisions. And you do need to identify areas of common ground so you can connect and then make a way forward. So you won't always be on the same page, but you can find common ground. And our common ground was we wanted to reduce the harm of methamphetamine in our community. So we had an anchor. Engaged people feel heard, understood and connected, and I think, you know, through Pam's work, being able to translate that into something meaningful, and then take it back and deliver it back to community, meant that those communities were connected and they were all sharing and using the resources that had been made with their people on their channels. And I think the more connected and engaged communities are, the more resilient they become. So there's a big legacy left for us in that work that Pam and the team did. So I'll just leave you with some of the things we do is go to, there's Ivy.
Yeah,
We go to Waitangi, together. In fact, it's a policy, well, it was, and I think probably continues, is that, if we're going to any event, we go together. Police and health go together because we are a partnership. Yeah. Thank you. And we do produce an infographic every quarter. So as Shane was saying, they've referred nearly 1,300 people to treatment. And there's some brief screening and brief intervention. Michelle's going to talk about that. So you can keep up to date with our progress on the website. And I think if I could just leave you with something, it is Te Oranga is about partnerships. It's about relationships with community, between organisations, between government and non-government, and it has the potential to really reduce the harm in our community, and it's a great way of working. So I appreciate you having us here today, and I hope we give you some things to take home and think about.